All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Casket Ready. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Life, and we also have with us.
Yeah, real estate raw. How everybody doing tonight? How everybody doing tonight? Matter of fact, let me give myself some applause. There we go. There we go.
That applause is terrible. And we got our third co-host with us.
Oh, you on mute? You on mute?
You on, yeah, you on mute, T. Can't hear you.
Now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
now
you
we
go.
hear. Now
Okay. My bad. Y'all know this y'all thing. I'm just joining in tonight because of the topic. But it's your girl Tawana. I am your credit specialist, your financial literacy coach, and your accountability partner. What's good, guys?
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
What's going on? What's going on? I mean, so the topic for today is women need life insurance too, right?
Ooh.
Women need it too, not just for men. This is something that everybody needs, but we definitely gonna focus on the women tonight, right? First off, shout out to any woman who actually has a policy already, right? So
Ooh,
that
ooh.
deserves a round of applause, right? So
Yes, yes.
get that going, right? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't care how big or how small that policy is. I'm glad that you have something in place for you and the youngins.
Yeah.
So, um, we actually got a special video for you guys. Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead and play that
Right.
video.
Let me go
Yeah.
that page right now.
Yeah, you gotta start adulting when you get in your 30s, don't you? You could play around all in your 20s. Once you get to your 30s, you like, oh, I gotta get life insurance. I got me life insurance now. I did good when it got me a little policy. And you could go up to $100,000, $1,000,000. But I was like, hell no, I'm keeping my policy right at $10,000. If I die tomorrow, I want my family to have just enough money to bury me. Because I know my family, somebody gonna get a new ass, you know what I mean? And you ain't gonna be out here walking around with a BBL looking like a bad and I'm in the ground, you know what I mean? So I keep my just enough. That's my mama laughing in the back because she knows she gonna get her booty done.
There we go. There we go. As usual, women being selfish, talking about she only going to get a $10,000 policy.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know who that was, and she must ain't got no kids. And she only thinking about her burial, but that is not true.
But here's what I would say though. At least she's thinking though. Like even if it's not the right, mindset, at least she's still thinking to some degree. She has the right idea. Just needs a little tweaking, but she have the right idea though. I give her that.
And I'm wondering how old that is, because she, even though she said only 10,000, that's still not that's not cutting it.
That's not accurate. That's just the coffin at this point.
Listen, the way funeral cost expenses are these days, that's nearly not enough.
No, but it's funny though, because when you think about it though, women getting life insurance though, but even to that point though, Tawana, I mean, even if you're a single woman though, like you want to leave some money for that woman that may want to get a some type of surgical improvement or whatever the case is. So it comes in handy for something. I'm just saying.
I feel her on that though. I low key feel her on that. I ain't leaving y'all no money to go get no BBL. Come on now. Come on. Like, if you know me, you know what we about, what we do. It's not about that. It's like, okay, leaving a legacy. What money you leaving for your kids? What money you leaving for your family members that's gonna, still survive without you, right? So
What if one of your kids want to get a BBL though? What?
thank God I have a son. I have a son. Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
And listen, all I'm saying is though that BBL could have helped her create her legacy by finding a husband through that BBL. That's all I'm saying. It's not up to us. It's not up to us.
See, there's a silver lining in everything, right?
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Oh god.
Oh,
that was a funny video.
Not that Gatsy.
Now I was gonna say, so like, I want to point out one of the main things why women should, because guess what? We are the backbone of the relationship. Right? We're usually more financially, mentally, more financially literate, right? And even if we're not the breadwinner, we're gonna make sure that the household is taken care of. You know, I grew up in a household with my mom and my grandmother where my grandfather used to just hand her the paychecks and she took care of everything. She allowanced him money out his own paycheck, right? So the main reasons why women are the ones that hold down the bills in the house versus the men.
No, so I like that, but you know the way these days set up, I don't know if it's wise handing that check over like we used to. Remember, back in the day, we hand that check over, we knew y'all wasn't going nowhere. We hand that check over now, you leaving and taking the rest of the money in the bank account. I'm just saying. Unfortunately, but you got a point though. I can't even rebuttal that part.
That's a real thing, right? But if we're talking about value, right? Let's talk about value for a second. So there's a certain amount of value that a woman is going to bring to the home, right? In general, right? She makes sure that, like T said, she makes sure that it operates correctly, right? You buying the groceries, she may make the meal, right? Oh, she should make the meal. Or, you know,
don't even shortchange us like that.
I'm just saying. So, but in general, right? Like she's gonna multiply anything that she has, right? So whatever is given to her, she's going to do her best to multiply that. So then there should be no reason why a woman shouldn't have some type of policy, because the value that woman brings to the home, right? She 10x's that value just by her, even just to be honest with you, even existing. Once again, just prime example, turn the groceries into a nice cooked meal, make sure the home is nice and clean. Any of the little accessories that a woman puts into a home, us men, we don't even think about just the little things, like when we were not running out of toilet paper, or you know, when we you know, just little things, like making sure the house smells good, like different things to make sure that the house is on point. A woman naturally takes care of, right? So then with her absence, you know, how long is it before the house, you know, kind of falters? So you got to look at it from that perspective. So, and then even when it comes to the kids, she's the first command when it comes to nurturing a child. Without that mother there, that child can still be risen by their father, don't get me wrong, but there's no love like a mother's love. Think about it. Let's think about Mother's Day and Father's Day. Who gets more love? Let's start it there. Who gets more love on Mother's Day or Father's Day? Mothers get more love on Mother's Day than fathers do on Father's Day.
It's true.
That's not by mistake. To be honest with you, it's not by mistake. So I say that the value that the woman holds, right? She should have some type of number, some monetary gain to that value that she holds, that she upholds her life and the life of the family too.
No. And let's not miss one important thing, that there's a lot of single mothers out there, right?
Exactly.
There's a lot of single mothers, and we already know studies show that there's more men that have life insurance policies than women, right? We showed that. There's a lot of single moms, so it's really important for us to really have a life insurance policy, because we are the head of the household, because we have the children, right? And a lot of us take care of our parents or grandparents, right? So it's very important, ladies, that you have a life insurance policy. And we already show that studies do show that more men have life insurance policies than women. So women, we got to get it together.
I like how both of you just moved right now. Kay was buttering up the women to get them to go to our website to get these life insurance quotes, just put them on the highest level. And then follow with someone. I love it.
That's a fact.
Business,
that's a fact.
Sales at its finest. No, we actually care about you, ladies. We do care about you. We do. No, but to your point though, with life insurance, women need life insurance too, because to your point, Tawana, there's single mothers that's out there, and if you are the breadwinner or you are the single mother, you got to leave some money for your kids. You got to make sure they're secure and they're okay. If that man is not there and he can't leave those type of stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I
And
think
in effect, I'm sorry, Kay, just to throw out there, in the fact that women live longer than men, right? We live longer. That goes back to what we said at the beginning, running a household, making sure everything is taken care of. We pretty much hold everything down in a household. So that's another key factor to point out.
You're not even lying. Women live longer. That's because y'all stress us out. That's why y'all live longer. Right?
Of course.
I second that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Whatever, ladies. I need y'all to come in on the chat because I'm losing here with 2 men and just me. We should have had Letitia on here, man. This would have been the perfect one. Where you at, girl?
Where you at, Letitia?
Where you at, girl?
Oh God.
But that's a real statistic though, and the fact that women do live longer, right, is even more of a reason why the policy should be in place. To continue that legacy the proper way. Now, there's other factors that go, and here's another thing too. A woman's policy is a little bit cheaper than a man's policy as far as the premium too. So it costs you out. So I tell you this, it's cheaper to get a policy than it is for you to go get your hair and your nails done. I promise it.
That is facts.
Yeah.
Yo, that is facts.
Absolutely. It's cheaper to get a policy than it is to get your nails and your hair done.
Yes.
I could put my bottom dollar on it. 100% is cheaper. Now, obviously, there's different prices when it comes to a policy, but I guarantee it that you can protect your whole family with just saying, you know what? I got my nails done this week. I'm going to get my hair done next month. You know what I'm saying? And get that policy going. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's that real.
Right.
Not to piggyback off it, because I mean, yeah, I'm not a woman, but I'm assuming like the basic hairstyle that y'all be doing would be like $300 to $500. Is that not like, correct me?
First of all, I'm not in that category.
I know, but you're still a woman, though. You know what I mean?
I'm all natural. I'm not spending $300 on my hair a month.
But your homegirls.
But not to your point though, it is true, to get, a lot of us women who are all natural, just speaking of women in our culture right now, we get braids in our hair, though that's like $150 a pop, and that's not even including getting the hair. So $150 to get your hair done, to sit there for about 3 or 4 hours to get your hair braided. And and it can be more than that depending on where you're going. Then you got the females who, think about who travel to New York to get it done for cheaper. But you put it on gas and tolls to get to New York, right? So you might as well add all of that up when you come. I'm speaking because I'm in Connecticut, guys. Speaking on that, but to your point, you're right. Just the women's maintenance, our self-care journey for us it can run about that a month. Absolutely. And we have women that are doing that but don't have a life insurance policy. So
that's real talk. And I love the verbiage though. Self-care journey. You made that sound so correct and smooth. Self-care. I love it.
Yes.
I'm gonna start using that now though. Like, yes, women, like, you're on your self-care journey. But get this life insurance policy while you're at it.
For real. And then on top of that, we didn't even get to the kids. This is just the self-care journey, right? That's just self. That ain't got nothing to do with the kids and their wants and needs. You get what I'm saying? So we all know that at the end of the day, it costs a lot to run a household, and it's not easy. It's not easy. So for the fact that it's not easy to run a household, if you think about it, I mean, it's obviously based off of where you live at, but on average, you spend about $3,000 to $5,000 a month to live, right? Easy, $3,000 to $5,000 a month to live. So times that, by 12, that's about $60,000 a year just to live. Then you times that by 10 or 20, right? That's 600,000 to 6 million. You get what I'm saying? Like when you do the math on this, right, to how much it's going to cost you throughout a course of 20 to 30 years to get to a certain point in your life, it's going to cost you. You've already accumulated X amount of dollars, right? So then there has to be some type of equal exchange of value that's there, just in case you are not there to bring in that income anymore. And as crazy and as simple as that sounds, people get hit with this every single day, and no one is ready for it.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? And that's the thing.
No, it's a valid point, and it's one of those things where it's so many benefits and really needed for women to have life insurance, just because, you know, to Tawana's point earlier on, women live longer, and one of the benefits that come with life insurance is living benefits. We all know that the older we get, the more things that may come across, from basic things, from high blood pressure to diabetes to, I don't know, there's so many 8 million things that be happening out here where you could tap into that policy to borrow money from to live off of. Or if something bad happens, like, you know, God forbid, cancer, that type of thing, you get access up to 75% of your money. You know, if you can't perform 2 out of your 6 daily functions. And we all know things happen, you know, a bad slip and fall, and unemployment is not covering enough for your bills. You know, that's where you can tap into your life insurance, like a 401k, and borrow from it, and there's no tax penalties. That's crazy. You know,
Right.
so some good things that you can use life insurance to do. Plus, we all know, you know, women, you know, talk about women, you love to give your kids the best and the most.
Right.
That sweet 16 that's coming up. I'm not saying take that money out for that, financially advising, but we know, you know, you want to do what you want to do for your kids, but that's a good way to pull out a quick 10 grand if you want to get them the limo and the whole shebang, or even send them off to college. That's another part where these life insurance is like those Gerber Life baby insurance. When you see the little Gerber bottles, Gerber Life insurance, that's where it comes in, where these policies nowadays are better than the Gerber policies, where you can use money to send your kid off to college. It's an investment tool on top of protecting your life. So you can use it while you're alive and if you pass away, but you can't beat.
Right. Right.
And I mean, if you think about it, when it comes to not just having a policy, right? But like I said in earlier, what the one of the biggest things that a woman will do is to protect her family. Is protect her family. It's in her nature to protect her young, right? And we go through life every single day, just, you know, through our normal day-to-day activity, and we don't think about the what ifs, right? And it's tough. I get it. We don't, because we're in it, we're not thinking outside of it, if that makes sense, right? We're not thinking of the what if factor. And when that does, or because it's a question of when, not if, right? So when that does happen, it's just about, are you ready? And the fact of the matter is, there's more women on earth than there are men. So if you think about it from that perspective too, right? That's another reason why more women need a policy, because it's just more of you. So it's more likely, even though your longevity is a lot higher, because there's so much more of you, and you know, it's still likely for something to happen to you, if that makes sense. And then think about it like this also: when you have somebody watch your children, most parents who care about their children, all parents who care about their children, I should say, they're thinking about, okay, I can't wait to get back to my kids, because yes, I trust this person watching my kids, but I want to get back to my kids. But what if you think about it for a second? What if you could never get back to your kids again? Who would you leave to take care of your children? And how much money does that person have? Do they have enough? Right?
Good question. We got a question on here. It's actually a good question. Janelle, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. She says, "Good evening, everyone. Which life insurance policy is best for women or anyone in general? I currently have one, but it only covers accidental death for adults." Good question.
Yeah, no, it's a couple different policies out there. You know, you definitely want to get a policy to to cover you and the kids. You know, you want to get a whole life policy or IUL policy for you and the kids, which will last, you know, all entire life for you and the kids. And it's good policies to get for your kids themselves so they can borrow from it themselves when they get older in adulthood. And getting a policy for your kids at a young age, it's super affordable. It's super low cost. Sometimes it's as low as $30 a month, and it's a permanent policy that lasts their whole life. So by the time, you know, your kids get to college or even retirement age, they'll have like $1 million worth of cash they could pull out. And then for yourself, you want to definitely get a permanent policy while you're still young. So the same thing, you know, you can borrow from it, or, you know, something happens to you, those kids are covered. You know, whoever takes on responsibility, you know, whether it's your sister, you know, your close ones, your aunts, they can financially cover all the costs it takes to take care of your kids' life now, where they, you know, playing soccer, games, anything, college. It covers all those expenses if you don't make it, God forbid.
Yeah, that was a great question. I'd say that the best policy is the one that suits your pockets, right? There's so many different policies that's out there, but the reality and the fact of the matter is two things. One, it's about how much coverage that you could afford, the best bang for your buck. So we want to get you as much coverage as possible, and then at the same time, it's not affecting your pockets to where you can't afford to pay for it, because at the end of the day, this is still a bill that you have to pay, but it's a bill that's worth paying. It is a bill that, you know, it's an everlasting bill. It's a bill that when you do pay into it, it's a bill that pays for your peace of mind. But when something happens, your children will be okay. So and that's a very, very great question, Janelle. But yeah, it's the one that's best suited for you. And that's what we do.
Yeah. And to piggyback on what you said, Kay, the part you left out, it's a bill that pays you back.
Yeah.
About 90% of our policies, this is a bill that pay you back.
Right.
Meaning that if you get a permanent policy, somebody's getting a check. Either somebody getting a check when they're alive, or somebody getting a check when you're gone.
Right.
That's
So it's
true.
a bill
Yeah.
that pay you back.
Yep,
Other
that's a
bills,
fact.
that car bill, insurance bill, they're not paying you back. That rent bill, you're not getting paid back. But this bill, you're actually getting paid back. You know, I just want to add that piece to it.
No, definitely.
Absolutely. I hope that answers your question, Janelle. If not, please, you know, drop another question or comment in the comments. That's what we're here for. And definitely visit our website. We can definitely do a consult. We can give you more details based off of you. And the great thing about us and what we do is, like Kay said, one that you can afford. So we're really big on, you know, we do credit finances as well. So we are going to make sure that it's a policy that you can afford, that's within your finances. And we're all about that. We're all about financial literacy and making sure everything is convenient for your pockets. The best options for you, for your pockets, you and your family.
Absolutely. Bro, I was going to say, go ahead and play that video one more time.
Play the video one time? All right.
Yeah.
Go back.
Bring that to the stage.
Back to the stage. There we go.
Stuff to focus on. I'm adulting now. Yeah, you got to start adulting when you get in your 30s, don't you? You could play around all in your 20s. Once you get to your 30s, you're like, oh, I got to get life insurance. I got me life insurance now. I did good when it got me a little policy. And you could go up to $100,000, $1 million. But I was like, hell no, I'm keeping my policy right at $10,000. If I die tomorrow, I want my family to have just enough money to bury me. Because I know my family, somebody going to get a new ass. You know what I mean? And you ain't going to be out here walking around with a BBL looking like a bad and I'm in the ground. You know what I mean? So I keep my just enough. That's my mama laughing in the back because she knows she gonna get her booty done.
I would like to piggyback off of what she said when she said the 10,000. But technically, if you look at your final expenses, just to add a little fun fact to that, not fun fact, but facts. Funerals, medical bills, and unpaid debt can easily reach 10 to 20K plus, right? You know, even though it's comical and she's talking facts that you even should have one, but if we want to keep it real, 10,000 we know is definitely not enough because your expenses, debt, anything you have can easily hit 10,000 alone.
True.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, Tawana, to bring up, it's one of those things where we got to think about the things that need to get paid off. I mean, imagine a situation where you're a single mother, and the rent wasn't paid, and you have a 17 or 18-year-old or 19-year-old, and there's one adult child, and you have a younger child, and they got rent for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? And rent's $2,000 a month, and you're in March. You still at this point got 9 months left. That's $18,000, and then the funeral cost itself that costs another $15,000. So now you're at $32,000 alone. So to your point, it has to be more than 10K, or you want it to be more than 10K. So it's definitely something where in those situations you want to be able to keep living. At the end of the day,
right.
Like, you want to grieve and celebrate someone's life instead of like mourning everything. Like you're grieving and you're worrying about how you got to pay for the funeral, and you're worrying about how you're going to live, and you're worrying about moving, and you're worrying about how you're going to pay for the car payment that your mother left, and you're worrying about how you're going to get to school. What if you're a teenager and your parents got you a car? Now you can't get to school, and your school's a half an hour away. Like all these things are real life situations that happen. And more importantly, one of the misconceptions is that it's not affordable. A lot of women don't have life insurance policies because they think it's not affordable, but it really is super affordable. There's policies out there as low as $30 a month, and there's policies that's out there for $300 a month. Depends on what you want, what you need, and to Kay's point, where's your pockets at. But there's a policy out there for you at every budget, at every price range.
Right. And remember, you don't have to start at the highest dollar, wherever you are financially, right? So you can start minimum and make sure you get a policy where you can increase it after a certain amount of time, once your finances is in a better state, which we help you with too. You can always increase that policy. Every year expenses go up. So just like everything that goes up, you want to make sure that your life insurance policy is enough to cover as every year the expenses go up as well.
Absolutely. What are some other reasons why women don't get life insurance, you think, T?
I think the education, the knowledge. People don't think, or even if women do have life insurance policy, it's only through their work, through their employer, which we are big on letting you know that that's not the only policy you should have. I come from a culture where we were educated on making sure we have a life insurance policy way back when I grew up in the South. So, the insurance lady used to come to the door and get the money every month from my mom, my grandmother, my aunties. She used to come and collect it. So I was educated then, but I think these generations now, it's not talked about in the homes. And it's proven, being that we see a lot of GoFundMe pages up for funerals and stuff. So I think it's the lack of education, the lack of the awareness of how important it is. Just until a couple of weeks, when you guys talked about this before, I never knew that more men had life insurance policies than women did. Like I never knew that. So it's always time to learn and educate yourself. And we're still learning every day. So I think, I'm glad that we get up here and we talk about this, even if it's for, this quick 30 minutes or so. It's important to know. And I think it's just the lack of knowledge and awareness of not having one.
Yeah, to your point, it's always good to have an extra layer of protection at the end of the day. It's always good to have another cushion. It's always good to have another stream of income, because that's what this is too. On top of protecting you, it's another stream of income. And it's just money. I mean, getting a basic $500,000 policy, even if it's a term policy, if something happens to you and you have a house and the house has $300,000 left to pay off on it, and something happens to you, the house gets paid off at $300K, you can leave it to your kids, leave it to your family, who you want to leave it to, and have, additional $170,000 left over to leave for people to continue on living and make their lives better, which that's the goal anyway. As women, you want to make it enhance your kids' life. What better way to do it through life insurance way? What easier way? What more affordable way to do it? Think about this. If you get a policy and you're paying $50 a month, and your policy is $500,000, and something happened to you, God forbid, the next month, you just paid $50 and gave your family $500,000. Just think about the logic in that. Like, that's mind blowing at the end of the day.
Right. And I think also too, just to add to that, you know, as you were talking, it came to mind that women probably don't know because it's not given to them in plain English, right? Sometimes people are trying to sell policies and you're speaking over their heads. They need a better breakdown of it. And I think we do good. You guys do good with explaining that. And it's a hard thing that people don't want to talk about because people don't want to think that they're going to die one day, right? And that's not just with women, but men too. And even thinking about kids, you know, I know we're talking about women today, but women, make sure your children have a life insurance policy, right? We spoke a little bit on that, but it's just thinking that we have all this time in the world to live, not never knowing when that one day we step out may be our last day. So why not be proactive and make sure that, you know, your family has you covered.
Yeah. And then lastly, what I would say before we get out of here is that, you know, although women, you guys do live longer, you know, you guys also suffer from a lot of health issues, right? So that's another thing is that there's a lot of health complications when it comes to women, right? Just in general, people, we have health complications, but I know women, you know, suffer from a lot of health complications as well. So it's even more important to get a policy prior to you getting sick, you know, prior to you knowing that you have any pre-existing condition, because
Right.
it's just a little bit harder to do so once that does happen, right? You know, like I said, the body goes through changes. You know, you go through different phases and changes in your life. So it's important to make sure that, you know, you keep up to par with your health and still get that policy because that complements your health, right? Once you do get a policy. Also, women who are pregnant have to be put on hold as far as getting a policy because you can't get a policy while you're pregnant. So if you are going to get a life insurance policy, you have to do it prior to you becoming pregnant or afterwards, right? You can't do it in between time. And then here's the beauty: when you do birth that child, which is the greatest thing on earth, right? Is that 2 weeks later, now you can get a policy for two people instead of one, if that makes sense. Because a child can get a policy as early as 2 weeks old. You get what I'm saying? So that's the beauty, that's the cycle of life. Make sure that we protect our lives by, you know, making sure we get those policies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the last thing I would say too, you know, why women should get policies for the men out there. I'll be damned if my wife gonna pass away and leave me with all the bills. Listen, why if I die, all the bills get paid with this life insurance policy? No, listen, fellas, make sure your girlfriend has a life insurance policy. If something happened to her, I want some compensation too. You deserve it too. That's the first thing.
Oh my God.
Listen, it's a real thing. That's actually one thing, even though we wrapping up, we didn't really talk about. A lot of times, you know, it always falls on the men. If something happened to us, the house is protected. We want to be protected too. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. God forbid, you know, my loved one, something happens to her. It would be nice to know, like, she left me this $400,000 policy.
I cannot.
You know? I'm just saying. If I get 400, why can't she get 400? I'm just saying. It's equal opportunity, right? Y'all fought for these feminist rights. All right. I'll stop.
Yeah, right. Nah, you know what? We make light of it, but it's important. But you know, we have to make light of it because it's something that people don't like to hear or talk about, right? But nah, right? I hear you. Yeah, the men get the short end of the stick a lot of times, so why not? Yeah.
It's mandatory. It's mandatory for me though. Like, nah, it's mandatory. Nah, we dating, we serious, we going on out. Yeah, nah, you getting a policy. You getting a policy.
Absolutely. I
agree 100%. I agree 100%.
So to end on a note, I would just like to read a quote where it says, "Life insurance isn't preparing for death; it's protecting the people who still have to live."
I like that.
Oh yeah, I like that word.
Absolutely. All right.
All right.
With
So
that being said,
mm-hmm.
here at Legacy Builders, we build together to grow forever. And make sure you hit us up. Go to the website, hit us up. Let's have a conversation about how we can get you and your family's policies. But if nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, you have a wonderful evening. Happy Monday, and we will talk to you soon. Peace.
Later.